candidates, welcome to our program Learn at Home. So as you know, our time has been extended by our president. So you have to take care of yourself. You know, life is more important than anything. If you are alive, you are able to do everything in life. So the first thing I have to do is to appreciate those ones who are doing the work. And I want all of you to do the work. As I have already told you that I am not happy always with those people who don't do the work. Do your work, send to me using the number on the screen, and then I see what you are doing. I want to start with appreciating these ones who have done the work. The first one is Nasozi Priska. Nasozi Priska, you have been complaining that I was not recognizing you. Forgive me if I didn't do it, because I like children of that kind. She's doing her work every day and sending whenever I teach. That is good. And these other people, Chibumbi from Joy Primary School, Wakiso, you have been doing the work, that's good. Najemba Hillary from the same school, you are doing the work. Arije Calvin Mbara Municipal School, you are doing the work. Kansime Clara Maria, St. Francis Junior School, Budo, you are doing the work. Thank you. Wafula Elijah, that is from Luero Boys. You are doing the work. Thank you. Encourage other candidates from Luero to also start doing the work and watching NTV. Then Ella Matanda, Daffodil Primary School, our neighbor. You are doing the work. That's good. Bikaramunda, that name is a bit difficult for me. Gabriela from Gayaza Junior, thank you for doing the work. And then there is somebody from, let me read this. Thanks so much, Kampala Parent School, for giving us this lesson by Mrs. Okwi Margaret. He's thanking Kampala Parent School, yes. Together with my children are in the sitting room. This is really a great improvement to my daughter, Lisa, who is a pupil of Mother Lydia Primary School, Gulu. Every other school needs a joyous teacher like this. Thank you so much. May God bless you. God bless you too, parent. Then another one. The next thing I'm going to the queries now. There are questions which have been sent to me, and I want to go through them.
Hello, Miss Okwi. This is Dalton from Gayaza. I realized that you made a mistake. While converting from meters to centimeters, it is 100, but for you, you wrote 10, and it changed your answer to 20 revolutions, while it was supposed to be 200 revolutions.
Dalton, I want you to see this number. I still have the number here. Dalton, that was number 1 of our previous work. Dalton, the distance given was 8.8. So, 8.8, not 88 meters, but 8.8. Now, 8.8 meters, if you change centimeters, you get 880 Dalton. Now, after getting that, the circumference, we were given radius as 7 centimeters. If you work out the circumference, you get 44 centimeters. I believe you did it. Now, 88 Dalton, 880, 8.8 times 100 will give us 88 out of 10 times 100. I multiplied this 88 times this 10 after removing the zeros. And then I came up with 880. Since the circumference was 44, I divided this by 44 to get the number of revolutions. Cancel this with that. 44 once, 44 twice, and then the 0. I get 20 revolutions. Daltons. I believe that is where you went wrong, not Mrs. Okwi, because my thing was clear. Then the next one is Adam. That is Adam. Adam is asking that, can you use 3 and 1 out of 7 as pi? Yes, you can. 3 and 1 out of 7 is is equal to 22 out of 7. 3 and 1 out of 7 is a mixed number. It's a mixed fraction. So when you multiply 7 times 3, 21, plus 1, 22 out of 7, you can use it. Then the next one is Byomuhangi Anania Baham, a teacher at Kigali Parents School, watching from Kigali, Rwanda. Thank you so much for watching our NTV. I thank that teacher who is teaching maths on NTV. Well done. Thank you for appreciating. Why has he not brought the concept of distance is measured in kilometers and meters? Thank you for helping me. You have already said it all. So our major units for measuring distance is kilometers and also kilometers and meters. You have already said it all. Because you're a teacher, thank you for helping me. I think that is all. Before I start the work, I want to tell you to take a screenshot always when I'm writing. To take a screenshot when I'm writing. Now the next thing I'm going to is to do corrections on the work I gave you. This is the work. A bicycle wheel has a radius of 14 decimeters. What distance can it cover in one revolution? There I go straight. What am I going to do? I can hear somebody saying circumference. Yes, I'm going to the circumference direct. So we say circumference equals, what have they given? The radius, 2 pi r, which is going to be 2 times 22 out of 7 times 14 decimeters. By this ones, by here 2. 2, what do you get? We get 88 what? Decimeters. Now that is the circumference. So after 88, this 88 is the decimeter, in decimeter. So now they're asking for what distance can it cover in one revolution? We say that distance equals number of revolution times the what? Times circumference. So what is the number of revolution? 1 times the circumference, which is 88 decimeters. What do we get? 88 decimeters. That is the distance within one revolution. Then the B part of it, they're asking us, what distance can it cover in? What distance can it cover in 3 complete revolutions? We are now having the distance within one revolution. So what are we saying? We are saying distance equals number of revolutions times circumference, which is giving us 3 times 88 decimeters. So when we multiply this, 3 times 8, 24, write 4. 3 times 8, you get 24, plus 2, 26 decimeters. That was for number 1, A, and 1 and B. I go to number 2 direct. Number 2, what are they saying? A string of length 176 meters is wound round a circular log 400 times. Find the diameter of the log. We cannot get the diameter if we have not got the circumference. So the first thing we say, we are changing 176 meters to centimeters. So we say 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. What of 176 meters will give us 176 times 100 centimeters, which is giving us 17600 centimeters. That is the distance in centimeters. Now after that, we want the circumference. The other time we said circumference equals distance divided by the number of revolutions. That is the formula. Don't forget how to get the circumference, how to get the distance, and how to get the number of revolutions. So now what do we have here? We have 17,600 centimeters divided by the number of revolution, which is given as 400 times. We cancel this with that. So when we cancel this with that, what do we have here? Here once, here what do we have? 44. 44. So we have the circumference as 44 centimeters. After getting the circumference, we now want to get the diameter. We have not yet got the answer, but we want to get the diameter. So what do we say? We say pi d equals circumference. Pi d equals circumference, which is 22 out of 7 times d will give us 44 centimeters. So we have 22d out of 7 will give us 44 centimeters. I bring it here. 22d out of 7 will give us 44 centimeters. Yeah, what do? We multiply both sides by the denominator. So we say 7 times 22 out of 7 d will give us 44 centimeters times 7. Cancel this with that. We have 22d is giving us 44 centimeters times 7. Divide both sides by the coefficient of d, which is 22. Here also 22. Here once, here once. By 22 once, by 22 here, 2. So the diameter equals 2 centimeters times 7. So 2 times 7, what do we get? We get 14 centimeters. Therefore, the diameter equals 14 centimeters. I had to bring this conclusion because we were using also d for the distance. So now I have brought it here as well to show you that we are looking for the what? Last week I told you to stand up during my mental work. I forgot to tell you to sit down. I don't know whether you sat down from your sitting room there. So now I want you to stand up. Before you sit down, you should be able to tell me to name one of the sectors here. Yes, Ian? Good. There is a semicircle here. This is a sector. This sector here, this is a semicircle which he has mentioned, is part of a circle. That is why we call it a sector, and it is a major sector. Another one? Yes, quadrant. We have a quadrant here. We have a quadrant. This is the quadrant. Yes. And you will tell me why we call it a quadrant. Why do we call it a quadrant? Why do we call it a quadrant? I can hear somebody saying it is a quarter circle. Yes, it is a quarter. Why am I calling it a quarter? And that is why I have brought the whole thing, and then after bringing that, I've divided it into 4 parts. 1. If I give you just an orange, and I tell you, you are 4 children in my house, I give you an orange, what part of the orange will each one go with? A quarter. Even if you like it or not, you have to go with it like that and eat it like that if you are supposed to eat it. So this is the quadrant we are talking about. The next one. Somebody is saying, Mrs. Okwi, that one does not have a name. Yeah, it doesn't have a name, but it is a fraction of a whole. What fraction is that? Good. This is a 1/6 of the whole thing. It is a sector. This part here, we call it a minor sector. Yes. But there are things I want you to know from these sectors. We need to remind ourselves before I start going to what I want you to do. Coming back to this one here. We call this one is a whole thing. And then in the center angle here is 360 degrees. Those who are still standing, I want you to sit down now. From where you are, sit down. And then understand, concentrate on what I am telling you. Now, this is a point. So, angle at a point add up to 360 degrees. And if I want to get this, I put 360 out of 360 because it's a whole thing. When I reduce, I come up with this. And this one here, I call it a semi because it is a half. How has it become a half? It is because of the angle sector, the sector angle or the center angle. We have been given a what? We have been given the sector. Now, this sector has an angle at a center. So, this angle is 180. If you reduce 180 out of this, you come up with a half. And here, we have done the same thing. When you reduce 90, you put 90 out of 360, you get a quarter. And that is here. And mind you, when we talk of a sector is the region between two radii. This is the radii. This one is equal to this part. So this is what we call a sector, and that's how we have got 1 out of 4. How did we get 1 out of 6? We have also put the center angle of this sector, which is 60 out of 360, and we have reduced to come up with this. Now, children, today what we are going to do, we are going to find the perimeter of these sectors. The previous work, somebody asked me, Mrs. Okwi, is the perimeter the same as circumference? Today you are going to see it. In a full circle like this, the distance round is the circumference. But when we come to the perimeter for this full one, here circumference is equal to this, the what? Perimeter, because the distance round. When they tell you to get the perimeter, the distance round. When they tell you to get the circumference, the distance round. But what is it? When we come to the sectors, that is what we are going to. So find the perimeter. Calculating the perimeter of the sectors. At times I forget to underline. If I forget to underline, make sure you underline your work, because when you send your work without underlining, I will not mark it. I'm going to draw for you example. Let me put here example 1. Example 1. Today I've decided to draw it myself, to draw on the board. I did not draw it on the chart. I want you to learn how to draw. That's why I put it here. I want you to learn how to draw. The diameter given here is 14 centimeters. They have said, find the perimeter, calculating the perimeter. We are looking for the perimeter. So, my candidates, when we want to get the perimeter is the distance around the given figure. What do? The distance of the curve plus this part will give us the perimeter. But do we have the distance of the curve? We don't have it. The distance of the curve is what we call the circumference. So what are we going to do? We are saying we are getting the circumference first. And this one, you know that this is a half. Somewhere we did the calculation. Somewhere we did the calculation. So what are we doing? We are saying, first of all, let us get the fraction, because this is, what is this angle? This angle is 180 degrees. We had already done it somewhere. So I know that here now, this is a half of a full thing. So what am I going to do now? I will say circumference equals a half times pi d. What do I get here? 1 out of 2 times 22 out of 7 times 14 centimeters. Why am I multiplying by a half? Because this is a semicircle. It is a half, not a full one. The full one, we have been getting the circumference as pi d, but this is a half. That's why I'm multiplying by a half, or I'm dividing it by 2. So by 2 here once, 2 here, 11, 2 once here, 22. We get 2. So what do I have here? 1 times 11 times 2 centimeters, which is giving us 22 centimeters. Now, after that, what are we going to do? The distance of the curve is 22 centimeters. I'm writing it here. That is the circumference. That is where I'm saying now circumference is different from the perimeter. The perimeter is the distance round this figure, but the circumference is the distance of the curve, the curved part. So now, I'm now going to perimeter. So what am I saying? Perimeter will be equal to the circumference that I have got plus the diameter. The circumference that I have got plus the diameter. You imagine a situation, I am moving from here, I'm starting my journey from here. How will I move? How will I move? How will I move? I'm moving, I'm moving, I'm moving, I'm coming this way, coming back to where I have started. So the distance round here is what we call the perimeter. What have I done? I have got the curve, the distance of the curve, which is the circumference, plus, somebody is already saying 14 centimeters. Yeah, that one was understood. So we have now 22 centimeters plus 14 centimeters. What do we get? 36 centimeters. That is the perimeter. That is the perimeter. The perimeter here is this one. So what do I want you to do? You know, in my work, I've always been encouraging you to underline certain things. Underline also this circumference you have got here. One line. And then coming down, underline this perimeter which you have got. How many lines? That is the double line. That is example 1. I want you to keep thinking, and mind you, if you know that we are going to wrap it. We are going to wrap it. Then I go to the next example. Let me now remove this. Here. Example 2. Example 2. I'm again going to draw it. Example 2 is a quadrant. Example 2 is a quadrant. Example 2 is a what? A quadrant. This angle here is 90 degrees. So now, I will use this upper line, and then I draw this to come here. Now, if I have done that, it means the distance here is equal to the distance here. And here, I'm going to say here is 20 centimeters. If you are not seeing, please watch properly. I'm trying to write well there. And then here is 90 degrees. We had already calculated somewhere. And we have known that the fraction there is a quarter. That's why I'm calling it a quadrant. So for me to get the distance, I can say, let here be A, B, C. So that for us to get the perimeter, I will move from A to B, B to C, and then C back to A. Now, the first thing I have to get, here is 20 centimeters. If this part is equal to this part, it means here is also 20 centimeters. Now, what of ACOCA? That is the circumference, the distance of the curve. So I will say circumference equals 1 out of 4 because it is a quarter times. What is the 20 centimeters? The 20 is the radius. So what is my formula? My formula will be 2 pi r. Then here I will say 1 out of 4 times 2 times 3.14 times 20 centimeters. By the way, we are taken long without using this. 3.14. Where do we use 3.14? When the radius or the diameter given is not a multiple of 7. So now, by 2, what do you get? By 2 here, I get 2. By 2, 1. By 2, once. By 2 here, 10. I have 1 times 1. What do you get? 1. Times 3.14. I will get 3.14 times 10 centimeters. I write this as a fraction. 314 out of 100 times what? Good. 10 centimeters. Is there any way we can reduce it? Yes. Action. Yes. Reduce the zeros. Then what do we have? We have 314 out of 10 centimeters. Cancel this. When we reduce that, we come up with 31.4 centimeters. 31.4 centimeters is here. 31.4 centimeters. That is, so we have now got the distance round. From A to B, 20 centimeters. B to C, 20 centimeters. C to A, 31.4 centimeters. We are now going to add to give us the perimeter. I've always told you that whenever you are going to add numbers with decimals, and they are mixers, they are numbers with decimal and they are numbers without the decimal places. What we have to do, write all these numbers as a decimal number. I'm starting with the first one because we are now adding. We are now going to the perimeter. We are saying perimeter will be now, what do we have? From A to B, we have 20 point. How many decimal places does this one have? 1.0 centimeters. Then from B to C, it is also 20. We are also writing that as a decimal number. Then the last one, 31.4 centimeters. So that it doesn't disturb you with arranging. Look at place values whenever you are doing your work. So what do we do here? We are adding. Plus 0 plus 0 plus 4. What do we get? We are moving together. 0 plus 0 plus 1, 1. I see somebody very excited. 2 plus 2, 4. Plus 3, 7. Up here, 7 centimeters. So this is our perimeter. This is our perimeter. I want you to understand it well. Welcome back from your commercial break. The next number, the next example, I've already given you how many examples? 2. I'm going to the third one. The third example, our question is 1. Find the perimeter. Find the perimeter of these sectors. There is another one I'm drawing. Another one I'm drawing. Look at this sector. This is the I believe some people are saying, now, Mrs. Okwi has drawn something more than, I've drawn something more than 90. So I'm bringing here the angle they have given us here. This is the angle, 144 degrees. And what have they given us as the radius? You know that the radius are equal. So here is 35 centimeters. Now, in the first example, I always want some of my examples to remain on the board so that you what? In the first example, we have said perimeter equals circumference plus the diameter. In the second example, what I have added there, I did not bring in the diameter, but I've said perimeter equals circumference. This is the circumference plus the radius plus the radius. And you know, it is almost the same thing. Radius plus radius, what do you get? Diameter. Are you getting that? So those ones where you see with the 2 radii given to you, when you add, they still give you the same thing. And if I am to calculate this number using the diameter, I will have to add this plus this to give me the diameter, and I will get the same thing. Yeah, I see somebody nodding. It's okay. So here we are looking for the perimeter also. Now, all that I have been doing, I was coming here with a quarter. We have always put 90 out of 360, and we have got a quarter after reducing, as I did it in the first time. Here we have put 180 out of 360. We have come up with a half. Today, I'm not going to reduce. I will go with it direct. So, how am I going to get the circumference? Let me also name this part again. A, B, C. For you, you can use your letter, the letters of your choice. Not for Mrs. Okwi. Don't take my letters. Yeah. So we are saying circumference equals, we are saying the center angle. Center, I'm going to write it even, angle out of 360 times 2 pi r. This is the formula I've come up with, because now you know that we had put the center angle for this sector, this one here, as 90 out of 360. I'm not going to explain it again. I'm now going to this one. What is our angle sector here? It is 144 degrees out of 360 degrees times 2 times 22 out of 7 times our radius, which is 35 centimeters. I want you to look at that properly. Look at it properly as I wrap this first example. Look at this one. Study it. I have put the center angle of this sector out of 360 times 2 times 22 out of 7 times 35. I'm going to reduce. By 2, what do I get? I get here 180. By 2, 72. 72, 180. 72, 180. Any common factor here? Yes, somebody is saying, yes, 2, yes. Let me go to 2. By 2, 90. By 2 here, what do I get? 36. Any common factor? Somebody is saying 9. Yes. By 9, what do we get? 4. By 9 here, 10. Do we have any common factor here again? Yes. By 2. 2. By 2 here, 5. Now, I want to bring it here. We have 2 out of 5 times 2 times 22 out of 7 times 35 centimeters. Any common factor there? I see somebody putting up the hand. Yes. Good. I like that. By 7, ones. By 7 here, 5. Many hands now. Class together. 5. By 5, ones. 5 here, ones. What do we have here? 2 times 2. What do you get? 4. 4 times 22. So we have 4 times 22 times 1 centimeter. 4, don't forget the equal sign here. 4 times this, what do you get? 88. 88 times 1, we get 88 centimeters. That is the circumference. That is the distance of the curve. I bring 88 here so that I don't forget. And then here, since this part is 35, you know this part is always equal to the other one. So here I have 35. So now we say perimeter. I've already told you perimeter is the distance around the given figure. Perimeter equals, I'm now saying circumference plus the radius plus the radius. We can even say circumference equal, the perimeter equals circumference plus the diameter. Because when we add radius plus radius, you get the diameter. There are people who can say it is circumference plus the diameter. So now we come up to replace. We are starting with the circumference. We have the circumference as 88 centimeters. Then the radius 35 centimeters plus 35 centimeters. I want you to bring it this way. 88 centimeters, 35 centimeters and 35 centimeters plus 8 plus 5, 13. 13 plus 5, what do you get? 18. Write 8, carry 1. 1 plus 8, 9. 9 plus 3, girls only. Girls, again. 9 plus 3, 12. 12 plus 3, 15 centimeters. That is our perimeter. That is our what? Perimeter. So what do I want you to know there? I've told you to underline the circumference, one line, and then we come to this is the circumference. This is the perimeter. This is the circumference. Where is our circumference here? Our circumference is here. And here is the perimeter. Somebody was asking Mrs. Okwi, Mrs. Okwi, is circumference the same as perimeter? Now you are seeing. And you are able to answer your question now yourself, not Mrs. Okwi. So now, what do I want you to do? If you are given a quadrant, go and multiply a quarter, because you know that. If you are given a semicircle, use a half. If you are given any center angle which is different from 180 or 90, put that center angle out of 360 times 2 pi r. And then get the circumference. After getting the circumference, go and get the perimeter. Now I have some work for you. I have told you that get a screenshot so that you don't disturb us that, they wrapped the work, they have wrapped the work before. The work is there today. I don't want to see that complaint. What I want you to do is to do the, I'm giving you work now. I'm rubbing, where did I do the work first? I'm rubbing this number. And I'm putting for you the work there. I want you to see this work. I put it in a simple way. I've given you only the diagrams. I've given only the diagrams. I don't want you to write a lot. I want that brain to work. Calculation now. There you are. Calculation. I know there's somebody who has already picked a pen. Somebody has already picked a pen. See it properly. And I want to just give you the angle sector there. The center angles of all these sectors. I believe you are seeing something clear. I have not been given the numbers. Let me now give the numbers. I want to use black now. This is number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, let me put it from out, and number 6. How many numbers are those? 6 numbers. In the first one, it is a semicircle. The second one, the same thing. The third one, it is a quadrant, a quarter. Even the third one is a quarter. The fourth one, the center angle of this sector is 72 degrees. What will you use? This formula. The sixth one, the center angle here is 36. What will you use? This one. And the radius here, I've repeated because there was a mistake here. I've repeated. The radius here is 100 millimeters. Children, if you fail, then it means you have not been serious. I want to encourage you to be good children, to make Mrs. Okwi continue with the teaching. It is you to complete the work and send so that I'm able to do the work because you're doing the work. May God bless you as you protect yourself, sanitize yourself, distance yourself, and then do what you are supposed to do so that we meet again. Thank you.
To participate, send a short WhatsApp video of yourself asking the teacher a question about the topic to 0705 031 609.